Oh, hi everyone. It's Wednesday, almost a full week here now. Well, actually, yeah, as of this afternoon, it will be a full week here, so it's flown pretty quickly. I've explored 3 tapas bars since I've been here, and my favourite one is definitely Casa Morales, which is a really old, traditional, nothing flash about it at all. The interior seems very authentic and very old, and even a little on the shabby side, but the price of the tapas is quite good. I think actually the first place I went to was probably the most expensive, but I did have that packet of those little crisp things. I've got to get the name of that so I can explain what they are. Little bread type, bullet type of things that are in packets. They seem to be presented at every tapas place with fresh bread as well. So that seems to be what the norm is here. So the first place I went to, which I had the pork cheeks. I mean, they were quite nice and it's quite a decent portion. But when I think about it, I didn't have a drink there, and I've paid about €5 for each place I've been to. So it's all a little over €5 each case. So it's just, I guess, around $8.59. I really haven't had an appetite to eat any more, to be quite frank. What I've done is I've bought the ingredients for salad, and I've made up a salad each day, and it's so easy to do because I get 2 packs of greens, one which is the spinach, which I always like to get, and the other one's like a mixed green pack, and they're about the same size, similar to what you buy in Australia. But they're only in the, well, actually I did notice that the local supermarket, the Express, did actually have some of those. They weren't where I expect them to be. They're up the top of a refrigerated compartment. So, but they didn't have spinach, and that's one I really like. So I have to go to the Supermercado Mas up the road. It's only like a 5-10 minute walk. It's no big deal. I can buy them from there. The only problem with that place is it's closed on Sundays, and Carrefour Express is open 7 days a week, so that's a big advantage there. But I also bought some olives, and yesterday I picked up and tomatoes, but little cherry tomatoes, really nice actually, nicer than what I've actually had in Australia. They were really good, so I mixed them together and I've got a crap load of olive oil, so I'll just drizzle that into the mix and toss it. And I bought some feta cheese from Carrefour Express yesterday, and used about 1/3 of that just to spice up the mix even more. It really made a pretty good salad. I was very happy with it. So I'm just having the 1 tapas meal a day, and the salad. Seriously, I don't need any more food. I did consume a bowl of wine like yesterday. I should have a hangover, but I don't. I mean, I might be on the cusp of a hangover, but my sleep patterns have been totally stuffed. I'm getting up really early, around 5 a.m, and after having grog, say in the afternoon, around 2 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that, I just flake out. And I slept yesterday, I think, until about 10 at night. So, it's just totally bizarre sleep pattern. So then when I woke, I watched a bit of TV because I didn't want to go back to sleep, and I probably would have found it difficult to. But I did actually get some shut-eye around close to 1 o'clock. I went back to bed and I woke up around 5ish. So yeah, they're bizarre sleeping patterns I've got at the moment. Just very untypical for me. I mean, when I'm at home, I have a little siesta during the day a lot of the time, about half hour, but nothing like this. I guess it might be an element of jet lag involved there too. So I haven't been out at night yet, and I've got to do that. My task today will be to go to a local tapas bar that isn't on my list, but actually did get very good Google reviews. It appears to be marginally more expensive than the others. Not that it matters. I've got no problems with my cash situation at the moment. It's really good, but I've got to say I'm pretty pissed off with the euro. of course, has jumped as soon as I came here, because I knew the European Central Bank would probably cut their interest rates, and they must have, because the euro is now, there's 62 euros to the Aussie dollar, and the best I could get before my trip was 61. It's very marginal. It's not a big deal. I took a much bigger bath on my shares that I sold. I sold them far too quickly, and if I just waited a few days, half a week would have been enough. They shot up by about 50 cents, and they're not expensive shares. I sold mine for about $3.19, and then they're up to $3.75, and that's just, the profit I made, I could have probably tripled it or more. We're talking big bucks here, so it's just, I would have paid for the holiday. Yeah. And look, I broke my own rules. I let my emotion get involved with my decision to sell these shares. My rule was that I should break up the sale into a couple of parcels and just see what the movements of the shares are. But I honestly didn't think they were going to go any higher, because there was a merger taking place, and the equivalent shares to the price that they're offering with these new company shares as an equivalent buyout of your shares I'd pretty well reached that rate. So I don't know why they've gone higher. It seemed totally illogical, but my rule of thumb was I shouldn't have sold them all at once. I was just scared that the price would drop back, because I thought it was quite a good price. So, I made a profit on them, so I can't complain. I made a 10% profit on the shares, but it could have been so much better if I just waited a little longer. It's annoying, but that's the share market for you. You've got to take your ups and downs, but it's a pity, because if I had made that much of a profit, increased the price that much, I could then have dumped a lot of shares I've taken losses on and cleaned up my whole share portfolio. So I'm very annoyed at myself for that alone. Anyway, getting back to being here, I had a call, an unexpected call from the guy who actually sold me the SIM card. This guy named Martin, an English guy. He had a classic sort of East Ender accent, and he'd been living in Spain for some time. So he actually rang me on the mobiles, and so I knew the mobile could receive calls. So he asked me if I could call him back. He couldn't get the information. He couldn't get anything from the call centre, because they needed to speak to the person whose name it was in. So it has to be me who rings them. Trouble is, I think they only speak Spanish, but I'll give them a call anyway and see how I go. I mean, I've got 100 minutes of calls I haven't used, well actually less now, because when I rang back Martin, then he decided to have a chat, and I thought, oh, that's great, he's using up my 100 minutes of allocation. I suppose at least I'm getting something out of it. Yeah, I rang him back, and he couldn't do anything about the data, and he said, look, I'm going to have to ring the call centre myself, because I can't. That's the more annoying thing. I can't get any data. I can use the data for Google Translate when I'm on the fly, when I'm actually at these tapas places, because my pronunciation is not great. I'm finding out that it's not getting me through very, very well. So got a lot of work to do there. But yeah, he rang me up yesterday morning, and I was able to call him back. So it seems to be working for phone calls, but I don't know, maybe I had to have the country code in as well as the actual number. I don't know what the problem was, but I still can't get data, and that is damn annoying. So anyway, I'll get that sorted out. And I'm thinking I might actually do a short video on me making my salad, because it's a good way to save a little bit of money. My coffee's tasted a hell of a lot better when I put a couple of teaspoons of sugar in. Otherwise, it was just too bitter for my taste without that. And I think they do have condensed milk likely, so I might even get some and make it with condensed milk, which will make it taste even better. It'll still be instant coffee, but what can you do? So my plan today is to go to another tapas joint. I'm just currently rendering another video. So a lot of people actually watch my video of my flight, so I'm quite interested in that. And I've also got to do one on my comparison between Qantas and British Airlines. It's quite surprising to me, the difference between the two airlines. I didn't actually have any food on the British Airways flight, so I can't compare the food situation. But I could certainly make comments about other aspects of the flight, and I will do that as a separate video. So yeah, everything's going okay. I'm just drinking a little excessively. I did yesterday, and I'll make sure that, well, it sounds like my render's just done. I don't know if you heard that, but yeah, I've just rendered the latest video with including the rail trip from Madrid to here, and me outside the door waiting for a Holly rent guy to turn up to give me the keys. So yeah, everything's going well. I didn't do much walking yesterday. I want to get out and about and do a bit more trekking around the place. It's a great city to walk around, and I'll do some more establishing shots when I do these sort of videos. I'm going to be placing background scenery. I'm just shooting scenery using the tripod on this particular camera and providing a Seville background, different street shots and what have you, which I hope will make them a bit more visually attractive. So yep, it's all happening, and I'll be off to the pub tomorrow, because I think that's the beginning of the first day of the last test in England, which I really haven't watched any of, so it's about time I caught up with that. And you know, I might be lucky enough to bump in with some fellow Aussies or some Poms or whatever. It doesn't worry me. It's just nice to have a chat with some fellow travellers, and I quite like the O'Neill's, the local one. It's a bit of a hike to get to the other one, so I don't know. I'll see how I go. And then there's the football on Friday and Saturday, and I'm thinking about possibly doing the kayaking on Friday night with the meetup group. It's €12. I've got stacks of money. My cash is holding up really well, so I can start to indulge myself for the last 3 weeks, and you know, why not? So that's pretty well my update at this stage, and I'll keep you informed. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.